February 2020, Melly was involved in a multi-inmate fight inside the day room of his area unit and was given a DR for his role in the fight. October 2020, placed on a room restriction for refusing to go back to his cell as he was trying to hide while on the phone.
What if we told you that behind the cold concrete walls of one of Florida's toughest prisons are rap superstars living a double life? One moment, he's fighting for freedom in a courtroom packed with cameras. The next, he's dodging betrayal, sparking feuds, and even recording secret messages from a jail cell. This isn't just about bars and bunk beds. This is about power plays, survival, and a rap empire that refuses to crumble. YNW Melly, once the chart-topping young king of melodic trap, now finds himself at the center of one of the most shocking behind-bars sagas hip-hop has ever seen. Alleged backstabbings by his own crew, whispers of million-dollar deals being cut behind his back, and a twisted love triangle that's allegedly tearing his family apart from inside the prison walls. But hold up, it gets wilder. Leaked phone calls, cryptic letters, and an unexpected jailhouse rival could flip everything upside down. Is Melly still calling the shots? Or has he been betrayed by the very people he trusted the most? Stay locked in, because what you're about to hear will have you questioning everything you thought you knew about YNW Melly's life in prison. Inside the walls of Broward County Jail, where the air is thick with tension and every step echoes like a warning, YNW Melly's days begin long before the sun rises. Guards whisper his name like it carries a curse. Inmates either keep their distance or try to get too close. And somewhere between lockdowns and court dates, a rap star is trying to keep his empire alive. But behind that infamous grin and the occasional social media post that mysteriously leaks from inside, Melly is battling something much deeper than a double murder case. According to a former close friend who recently spoke out under the condition of anonymity, Melly isn't just trying to beat the system. He's trying to survive betrayal from within his own circle. And if what this insider claims is even halfway true, the rapper's life behind bars is far more dangerous than anyone thought. They act like they loyal, the friend said in a secretly recorded phone call, but they moving like snakes. Melly don't even know who he can trust anymore. It's like his whole team flipped the moment the cuffs went on. Those words hit like a punch to the chest for fans who followed Melly's rise since the early SoundCloud days. But they were nothing compared to what came next. Just weeks after that call leaked online, rumors erupted of a secret phone smuggled into Melly's cell, a device he allegedly used to communicate with both his legal team and someone very unexpected, his own mother. And it wasn't the kind of mother-son chat you'd expect. According to another leak, this time an alleged voicemail, Melly can be heard arguing with his mom, accusing her of choosing sides and giving sensitive information to members of his management team. "You supposed to be with me?" the voice shouts, almost breaking. "You token to them like they family, but they the ones plotting. You ain't even tell me what they did with my money." That message rocked fans to the core. The family was left divided. Some rushed to his defense, saying Melly's stress was understandable. Others questioned if the fame and pressure had finally gotten to him. But one thing was clear: something wasn't right. Meanwhile, on the outside, his longtime producer, known publicly as Jay from The Jump, made headlines after being spotted meeting privately with Melly's former label execs. The label denied anything shady, calling it a business lunch, but fans weren't buying it. On Instagram, one user commented, "You smiling in the face of the same people who froze Melly's accounts. Nah bro, this fake." The comment got over 10,000 likes and sparked a wave of speculation. Had Jay turned his back on Melly for a bigger bag? When Jay was later confronted outside a studio in Atlanta, his only response was, "I got love for Melly. Always will. But business is business." That statement poured gasoline on the fire. Back inside Broward County, Melly was spiraling. According to guards who spoke off the record, the rapper had gotten into multiple altercations in the weeks following the voicemail leak. One incident reportedly involved another high-profile inmate, a former gang affiliate, who had clout and a grudge. He was calm, then boom, said one staffer. Next thing you know, they're shouting, and it's real. This ain't no rap video. They was ready to go at it. The prison administration tried to downplay the event, calling it a verbal disagreement. But insiders say Melly was placed in isolation for at least 72 hours afterward. Some say it was for his own protection. Others say it was punishment for stepping out of line. But here's where the story takes a chilling turn. A new inmate, who arrived just a month ago, began making waves almost immediately. Goes by the nickname Rico. Word on the cell block is that Rico used to be tight with Melly's old crew, and he's come into the prison with one mission: to collect on a debt that allegedly goes back to a failed show deal from before Melly's. "Arrest Rico's not here by accident," said one inmate in a leaked letter. "He's here to send a message." This set the stage for one of the most tense confrontations in recent prison history. Not with fists, not with weapons, but with words. Cold, calculated, and deadly. One night during rec time, Rico approached Melly near the wait area. Everything around them went quiet. "You forgot where you came from," Rico said, loud enough for others to hear. "You forgot who put you on. But don't worry, I'm here to remind you." Melly, looking drained but unshaken, reportedly replied, "I never forgot. I just leveled up. Maybe you should try it." Those words caused a ripple effect through the inmate population. Lines were drawn. Loyalties were tested. And for the first time since his incarceration, Melly wasn't just a famous face, he was a target. Meanwhile, fans outside the prison were torn. Some begged for the rapper to be released, flooding social media with hashtags like #FreeMelly and #JusticeForMelly. Others questioned if the rapper's growing legal problems and behavioral issues. Behind bars were signs of a deeper problem. His ex-girlfriend, who had stayed silent for over a year, finally broke her silence during a podcast interview, saying Melly wasn't always like this. Prison changed him. Fame changed him. "I think he's scared, but he'd never admit it." Her voice cracked as she spoke, and the clip went viral overnight. Emotions ran high. Some supported her, while others accused her of clout chasing. And just when things seemed like they couldn't get any more twisted, a new player entered the story, a lawyer, young and ambitious, who claimed to have explosive evidence that could blow the entire case wide open. "The truth is deeper than what the media is telling you," she said during a surprise live stream. "This isn't just about what happened on that night. It's about the people pulling strings behind the scenes. And yes, I mean inside the jail too." Fans were shocked. Speculation reached a fever pitch. Who was she talking about? The guards, Melly's own team, the label. And then she dropped the bombshell. "We have a reason to believe certain pieces of evidence were tampered with. And someone close to Melly may have helped make it happen." The screen went black. The stream ended. And the internet exploded. Just like that, everything was back in question. The case, the loyalty of his crew, even Melly's innocence. And as the days ticked by inside that cold, dim cell, YNW Melly sat with his back against the wall, surrounded by rumors, haunted by betrayal, and holding on to one thing stronger than fear: the belief that he would still come out on top. But what he didn't know was that the next betrayal would come from someone even closer, someone he once called family, while YNW tried to steady himself behind bars. Thinking the worst was over, the betrayal brewing outside the prison walls was about to cut deeper than anything he'd faced so far. The source: his own blood. His cousin, known publicly in the rap game as Lil Trey, who'd once toured with Melly and been introduced as family first, business second, had started moving differently. At first, it was subtle. Lil Trey posting flashy photos with Melly's former label team. Then came the sneak peeks of unreleased track beats that sounded eerily similar to Melly's vault of unreleased music. But when Lil Trey dropped a surprise single called Free Who, fans lost their minds. The lyrics didn't hold back. He rapped about loyalty being fake, about sitting in a cell while others eat off your name, and a final bar that hit like a slap across the face. Family ain't family when the bag's on the table. Melly's fanbase erupted. Twitter exploded. Reddit threads popped off, breaking down every line and digging into every old video. Could Lil Trey really be talking about Melly? And if so, why? But those closest to the situation said the signs were always there. He was jealous, straight up, said a former tour manager. Melly had the spotlight. Trey was always in the background. Now he sees a chance to step up, and he's doing it off Melly's name. Melly's name. Inside Broward County Jail. When Melly heard the track, allegedly through a bootleg MP3 player passed around during lockdown, his reaction wasn't what you'd expect. He didn't scream. He didn't throw anything. He laughed. They all show they colors eventually, he told a fellow inmate, according to a leaked prison letter. I was just waiting for Trey to do it, but he better pray I don't get out. But underneath the cool response was a deep cut. Melly had brought Trey into the game, shared stages, split checks, trusted him. And now, with a few bars, Trey had thrown it all away and cashed in on Melly's pain. Still, the betrayal wasn't just personal. It had professional consequences. Melly's team was scrambling. Streams of his older music started dropping. His unreleased catalog, once protected, like gold, was now leaking track by track on shady SoundCloud pages and random YouTube accounts. His manager at the time, who had remained loyal for years, posted a cryptic Instagram story that read, "You think it's random leaks? Nah. This some inside job stuff. Snakes in the grass. And we mowin'." Fans were confused. Were they accusing Lil Trey? Was someone from Melly's own crew selling the tracks? Or was it a move by the label to drain the vault before Melly could regain control? Meanwhile, the legal drama wasn't slowing down either. Court documents surfaced showing discrepancies in the way evidence was collected from Melly's devices. His new lawyer, the one who'd gone viral in the livestream, filed a motion claiming digital tampering and requested an emergency hearing. But as the case gained media attention again, someone else returned from the shadows. YNW Melly, once Melly's right-hand man. Melly had been relatively silent despite facing charges of his own. But suddenly, he was speaking to reporters outside the courthouse, saying things that made fans' jaws drop. "I still don't know everything that happened," he said. "But all I can say is, not everyone told the truth." The reporters jumped on it. What did that mean? Was Melly hinting that Melly lied? Or was he protecting someone else? The statements were vague, but the damage was done. Melly's legal team panicked. Public opinion started to shift. Again, and behind bars, Melly was reaching his breaking point one day. During a routine check-in with a prison psychologist, mandatory due to high-profile inmate status, Melly reportedly opened up more than one usual. "I feel like I'm playing chess with blindfolds on," he said, according to someone close to the situation. "Every move I make, somebody trying to knock me back down. But I swear, I ain't folding. I ain't never folding." The therapist noted increased stress levels, signs of paranoia, and the weight of emotional isolation. But what no one knew at the time was that Melly had already started planning his next move, and it wasn't legal. He was about to go underground digitally through a network of burner phones, outside contacts, and encrypted messages Melly was allegedly crafting. what he called Operation Phoenix. Not an escape plan, not a confession, but a full-scale comeback campaign. From jail. One of his trusted friends on the outside, who stayed anonymous for safety, explained it like this: Melly's tired of playing victim. He's building a new label. New team, all run through proxies. He's already got verses recorded through jail calls, producers cleaning up his vocals, visuals ready to drop. They think he's done, but he's just getting started. And fans began to notice. Suddenly, an Instagram reel surfaced featuring Melly's voice over moody piano. Keys rapping about darkness, betrayal, and redemption. The caption simply said, "Still alive. Still Melvin." The video hit 1 million views in 2 hours. Blogs went crazy. Was Melly really making music behind bars? How was he pulling it off? And more importantly, is this the beginning of something bigger? But before Operation Phoenix could gain momentum, the prison tightened security. A random sweep uncovered to hidden devices. The official report didn't name names, but sources claimed one belonged to Melly, or at least was connected. To him, once again, he was thrown into solitary. And this time, he wasn't laughing, back in the hole, under harsh lights and stripped of all communication. Melly had no idea that a new storm was already forming. A documentary team had been quietly building a case of their own, not for court, but for the court of public opinion. And they had exclusive interviews, never-before-seen footage, and insider accounts that could shatter everything Melly had been working to protect. The trailer dropped out of nowhere. Black screen. Slow piano, then a voiceover. You know his music, but you don't know the truth. Flash cuts, prison gates, crying family members, secret phone calls, and then Melly's face. The title faded in. Melvin, the double life of YNW Melly. The internet went wild. Fans, critics, and media outlets all locked in. Was this the final nail in the coffin? Or the spark that could ignite a second chance? As the documentary team began teasing clips, it became clear this wasn't a puff piece. They were digging into the original case, interviewing old friends who'd turned cold, and even hinting at a missing witness who had vanished just weeks after Melly's arrest. Conspiracies reignited. Was there a cover-up? Did someone close to Melly make a deal to stay out of jail? And most importantly, was the real story still hiding behind bars? While the world watched and speculated, YNW Melly sat alone in a cold, concrete room, unaware that the next chapter of his legacy was being written without him. And just when it seemed like the pressure couldn't build any higher, someone knocked. On his solitary door, a guard, holding a sealed letter from the one person Melly had never expected to hear from again. The letter shook everything. He thought he knew, not just about the case, but about who had set him up in the first place. Melly stared at the letter like it was a ghost. It was hand-delivered, sealed in an envelope with no return address, and the handwriting on the front was all too familiar. It wasn't from a lawyer. It wasn't from a fan. It was from Jamie, his old mentor, the one who helped him survive the streets before fame, before Melvin even existed. They hadn't spoken in over 2 years. The last time they talked, Jamie had warned him about the snakes, warned him about the label, warned him about the price of fame. Melly didn't listen then. But now, trapped in solitary, with betrayal surrounding him like prison walls, he opened that letter like it was the only lifeline he had left. The contents. Explosive in the opening lines, Jamie wrote, "You think you got backstabbed. You don't even know the half of it. They didn't just betray you, Melly, they planned it." From the jump, what followed was a full-blown expose page after page detailing how members of Melly's inner circle allegedly worked with outside forces to keep him locked up, not just to take his place in the spotlight, but to bury him altogether. "I warned you," the letter read. I told you to keep your circle tight. But they got to your mom. They got to Trey. Even Jay flipped for a check. This was never about justice. It was about money, control, and you were the prize. Melly read it again. And again, each word like a dagger. He started connecting dots, timelines, behaviors, disappearances. Why Trey started releasing music so fast. Why Jay was suddenly good with a label that once shelved Melly's tracks. Why evidence kept leaking. And why his defense always felt one step behind. It wasn't paranoia, it was real, and the worst part. The letter claimed one of the main informants working against Melly was still inside the prison. A name wasn't mentioned. Just a clue. You used to feed him. Call him Lil Bro. Now he feeds them. Find out who still wears your shoes. Melly's mind raced. Only a handful of people in that prison had ever been close enough to wear his gear. Inmates he'd given shoes, clothes, commissary. He started making a mental list. 3 names, 2 were loyal. 1 had been acting strange. Rico, the same Rico who'd confronted him in the yard weeks earlier, who had ties to his old crew, who'd been too comfortable, too confident. But now, it made sense. Rico wasn't just there to send a message. He was there to report back to those pulling strings on the outside. Melly's first move. Silence. He said nothing. To anyone. Not his lawyer. Not the guards. Not even the one friend he still trusted in D-Block. He needed to watch, to study, and within days, the truth revealed itself. Rico was spotted passing notes during mealtime. Not to inmates, but to a guard known for turning the other cheek. He made suspicious calls, short and coded. And once, late at night, he was heard on the phone laughing, saying he don't even see it coming. The betrayal was confirmed. Melly's anger was silent now, colder, more dangerous. He began working on a plan, not violence, not threats. Something smarter. Operation Phoenix had been paused, but now it had a new purpose. Revenge from solitary. Melly began documenting everything. Names, times, calls, favors, even guard movements. Through an unofficial channel, a contact on the outside he'd kept hidden from everyone, he'd passed the information. His goal. To expose the corruption not just within his crew, but within the very jail holding him to contact. Known only as L. Was a Tex-Avi fan who'd once hacked a popular rap blog just to get Melly's attention. Now, she was his eyes and ears online, running burner accounts, leaking clips strategically, and even threatening to drop a full list of compromised insiders if Melly's situation didn't change. But just as the plan began gaining traction, something unexpected happened. Rico vanished. One morning, he was just gone. Word spread fast. Some said he got transferred. Others claimed he snitched and entered protective custody. A few whispered darker rumors that someone paid to make him disappear. Melly said nothing but his eyes. They told the story. It wasn't long after Rico's disappearance that Melly was pulled from solitary. No explanation, no hearing. Just a guard saying, "They moving you." He was placed in a new wing, cleaner, quieter, and more secure. At first, he thought it was punishment, but then he realized Operation Phoenix was working. The leaked tracks were gaining momentum. Fans were rallying again. The hashtag Melvin Rising started trending on TikTok, backed by an army of creators who believed in his innocence. Or at least believed in his music enough to fight for it. And then came the real twist. In an unexpected press conference, Melly's lawyer revealed that a new witness had come forward. Someone previously missing from the original trial. Someone who had been on the scene the night everything went down. And according to the statement, this witness claimed Melly wasn't the one behind the shooting. The internet exploded. Some said it was too convenient. Others said it was the breakthrough they'd been waiting 4. But the biggest shock came when a photo of the mystery witness leaked. It was YNW Melly, single quotes, as former producer. The one who'd stayed silent. The one fans thought had turned. He was now claiming to have information that could change the entire case. When asked why he waited so long, Jay told a reporter, "I was scared. They told me to keep quiet. They said if I talked, I'd end up like..." Well, you know, he didn't finish the sentence, but everyone watching knew what he meant. YNW Melly, single quotes, legal team jumped on the opportunity, filed a new motion, requested a retrial. And for the first time in years, the word release was being whispered in courtrooms and comment sections alike. But just as things began to tilt in Melly's favor, something else hit the internet. A video, grainy but clear enough to make out faces. It showed Melly in prison, talking to someone, a guard maybe? Audio wasn't clear, but the visuals were damning. The video was captioned, "So this is the innocent man y'all worship." The backlash was instant. Critics resurfaced. Fans argued, hashtags clashed, and Melly, he didn't speak. He just watched. His empire was crumbling and rising at the same time. The battle wasn't just for freedom now. It was for legacy. And in the middle of it all, one final betrayal was about to land. A secret phone call, a recording, someone close to Melly had been working with federal investigators from the beginning. Not a label exec, not YY, not even Trey, but someone he still called family. The phone call came at midnight. Crisp audio. No static. No distortion. Just two voices. One official.com, measured, investigative. The other, familiar, low, nervous. The second voice belonged to someone who had been around since day one. Someone seen in backstage videos, at family cookouts, in those old Instagram lives before everything went dark. His half-brother, the one he always said was the only one who'll never fold. But fold. He did. The clip, leaked anonymously. No names were mentioned, but fans recognized the voice immediately. It was unmistakable. His speech pattern, the slang, even the little pause before he said, "You feel me?" It all gave him away. The brother was talking to feds. He confirmed details from the night of the shooting, not the ones in the original indictment, but deeper ones. Things only Melly and a few people could have known. He mentioned tension in the days leading up, financial disputes, late-night meetings. And then, the most damning line of all, he said, if they cross him, it's done. He don't play about. Betrayal. The investigator responded with, "So you believe it was premeditated?" Silence. Then, yeah. The internet exploded. Fans were devastated. Those who had stood by Melly through everything, the court delays, the media circus. The betrayals now had to face the possibility that the ultimate betrayal came from his own home. The hashtag changed from hashtag Free Melly to hashtag Pray for Melly, because no matter how loud your music echoes, when your own blood flips, the silence afterward is deafening. Inside the prison, Melly reportedly didn't react at first. He just sat on his bunk, staring at the wall. One inmate said he didn't speak for 2 days, but when he did finally break the silence, it wasn't anger in his voice. It was something else, something colder. They all got their reasons. But now, so do I. From that moment forward, Melly went dark. No more leaks, no more cryptic posts, no new music clips. His Instagram, which had been getting updated through outside connections, suddenly stopped posting. Rumors spread that he cut ties with his entire team. Fired lawyers, ghosted everyone. Even his own mom went live on Facebook saying, "I don't know what's going on no more. He won't answer me. I'm scared for him." Emotions ran high. The family was shattered. Some blamed the brother. Some blamed the industry. Others blamed Melly himself. You can't build a house on secrets and expect it not to crumble. One old friend tweeted, and crumble, it did. His label officially dropped him. Said they no longer had a working relationship with the artist formerly known as YNW Melly. The announcement came with zero warning, no statement. Just a single post. We're moving forward. And then came the final twist. Court documents surfaced, revealing a sealed indictment, not for Melly, but for the brother. The one who flipped, turns out. He wasn't working with the feds because he wanted to. He was doing it because they had him on drug charges, possession, trafficking, intent to distribute. The deal? Testify against Melly in exchange for a lighter sentence. And just like that, everything flipped again. Was it betrayal or survival? Fans were divided. Some said the brother had no choice. Others said he sold out. Blood don't bend. One comment read, "If you fold under pressure, you was never real." The chaos was complete. Melly, once a rising star with hits charting across the globe, now sat in a prison cell, stripped of nearly everything. His label, his team, his family. His trust, but one thing remained untouched. His belief that he'd come back from the ashes of betrayal, from the weight of secrets. From the silence that followed his brother's call, Melly began building. Something new, word started to spread again. Quietly, a new team was forming. Not from the industry, not from fame chasers, but from the shadows. Loyal fans, rogue producers, even an ex-label rep who left the business and wanted redemption. They called it the Phoenix Circle. And their goal? One thing only, to give Melly a final voice, a track. One last record recorded through patched phone calls, edited in hotel rooms, mixed anonymously. No names, no labels, no legal trails, just raw emotion, pain, anger, regret, truth, and then one day, the Phoenix dropped. It was just a black screen. No visuals, no announcement, just a piano. Then Melly's voice, broken, distant, but sharp. "You can lock the body. Not the mind betray me once, but I still rise / blood flipped fans. Dipped. Trust died, but I'm still breathin', still speaking, still alive." The track hit 10 million views in 12 hours. Blogs called it the greatest. Jail recorded verse since Pac. Others called it a final cry for help. But fans, they just called it real. And in that moment, for the first time in a long time, Melly wasn't a prisoner, wasn't a headline, wasn't a suspect. He was a rapper again, an artist, a voice in the dark. But as the world tuned in, the court had other plans. New evidence surfaced, new motions filed. The state wasn't done, and now, with his brother on the witness list and his name still in the headlines, Melly faces the most critical hearing of his life. The retrial, one last chance to rewrite the story. And fans are waiting. The drama isn't over. The betrayals still echo. And somewhere behind those prison gates, Melly is either plotting his return or preparing for the final chapter. Either way, and there you have it. There you have it. From viral hits to courtrooms, from platinum plaques to solitary confinement, from family bonds to shocking betrayals, YNW Melly's story is one that reads more like a movie script than real life, but the truth. It's messier, darker, and more twisted than any fiction could ever write. He walked into the game with a dream, a voice, and a tight circle. But now, that circle's shattered. His team splintered. His trust broken by the very people who once called him bro. The betrayal from his own cousin. The silence from his mother. The flip from his brother. It's the kind of pain you don't bounce back from easily. Not even with fame, money, or millions of streams. And yet, despite it all, YNW Melly is still standing, still fighting, still creating. His voice hasn't been silenced, not by the system, not by the streets, and definitely not by the snakes around him. But now we turn to you, the fans, the viewers, the ones who followed this wild roller coaster from day one. What do you believe? Was Melly set up from the inside? Did the betrayals seal his fate? Or is there still one more twist waiting in the shadows? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to hear what you think about this crazy saga, and if you want to stay locked in for every twist, turn, leak, and courtroom update, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on the bell because we've got more heat coming your way. This story might be paused, but it ain't over, not by a long shot. Stay tuned.